I'd like to talk for a little bit with this chess game that we're going to go over between me and Aaron, a bot on chess.com, about how that there's a comparison between flight training and chess training. And what brought this to my attention was the fact that when I come in for a landing, I'm in flight training. I've had, well, I don't know, I've had just a few lessons. I've been taking lessons for a few months. And so the only thing standing in the way of me soloing is not being able to land properly. And what happens on landing is I have task overload. I'm having to think of so many things. I'm having to think of the runway, the radio, the alignment, checklists, the altitude that I'm at for how far away I am from the runway, and looking at the numbers and making sure that I'm tracking correctly on where I think I'm going to land, and and flaring properly and all that stuff. And I get task overload, and sometimes I focus on one thing and completely lose sight of another. And what happened is I played a game of chess.com yesterday, and I'll see if I can figure out a way to create a video out of that. And I was playing and I was working really hard, but I was busy. I had other distractions, and I was thinking about the distractions and thinking about how I wanted to win and thinking about this and that. And all of a sudden I realized I had lost my queen. I don't even know when I lost my queen. So that was a terrible distraction. So I want to think about how that task overload can cause problems for us in chess, just like in flight training. And so we can manage flying overload or task overload, and we can sharpen our chess strategy by managing that overload in our way of thinking and how we're doing. So I want to have several videos about flight training versus chess training, and I'd like your thoughts on that. And let me know how you feel about that. Whether you think that's a viable thing or not, and maybe you already have that experience. But I am probably a few weeks away from being able to solo. I've been given the pre-solo written exam, which is like 15 pages, and then I have to take a check flight with the president of the flight club to see if I can pass that. If I pass those two things, maybe do a few more flights, and maybe I'll solo. Maybe I'll work that into the chess thing too. I don't know. But this chess game here was a chess game between Aaron and myself. Aaron, of course, is one of the chess.com bots. And I really enjoyed the game, and I just messed things up here. Let me fix this. There we go. And when the game review, I had an 85.9% accuracy. He had a 75%. There were some best moves, it's two great moves, and then no brilliant moves, etc. Some inaccuracies. 5 mistakes on his part, 1 miss on mine. So anyway, it was a pretty good game. But I want to look at the game with thinking about getting rid of task overload so that you don't miss things, and so I don't miss things. All right, so let's go. This is a good standard opening, king's pawn up, and let me see if I can fix this where you can read what's going on here. Okay, great. Okay, so then the next move was I moved up, and the Vienna opening begins with this, and this is a mistake on my opponent's part. It permits the opponent to win a pawn through a fork. So that's pretty cool, and I go up and nice fork, because I go up and fork the queen and also the pawn. And he goes up there. Of course, I can't take the pawn because he protects it, which is fine, which is absolutely fine. All right, so I move that pawn up, and I have a very good reason for that. This says I have an opportunity to win a tempo by threatening the queen. And I suppose I could threaten the queen. I could have put my knight up there, which would have threatened the queen, and then I would have also been here. So unless the queen went right back where it was, I was able to fork the king and the rook. So I missed that. I didn't see that opportunity. So now we have, he moves this piece up here. That's a mistake. It's a missed opportunity to develop a knight. So it would have been better for him to develop a knight than to develop that pawn. At least one way of thinking. Sometimes my thinking is different than the thinking on the chess pros, etc. All right, so I moved this up, and it's good. I'm going with my quest to get everything off the starting row and get ready to do battle. And this was a good move. The bishop is ready to be developed, so it opened up this entire diagonal, so the bishop could go somewhere. And hopefully, I'll raise this pawn up next. We'll see. I didn't. I protected this pawn, which allows my green bishop to be developed, which is not a bad thing. So this is a questionable move. The game was close to equal, but now white has the advantage. So I have an advantage. I can put the king in check. I could always take this knight. I like to take a knight sometimes because it denies the king the opportunity to castle on that side, because the rook has to recover the bishop, etc. So just thinking about task overload, you can look at all the pieces. How many pieces are on the board? Those 32. 16 on each side. 8 pawns on one side, 8 pawns on the other, and then 8 pieces. So there's 32 pieces altogether. And so as you think about all those pieces, it's easy to become overloaded. All right, so I made this move, and that square is an excellent outpost square for your knight, a secure spot in your opponent's territory. Sure, it's very secure. So the queen has to move here or somewhere to keep my knight from going and forking the king and the rook. And he does. That's a good move for the queen's part. But it does allow me to go here. If I went there, well, if the knight was gone and the pawn, maybe the pawn couldn't go there. If the knight wasn't there, then I could move this pawn up here and I could pin the queen against the king. Wouldn't that be fun? Okay, maybe that's what I'm going to try to do. But of course, the knight is in the way. And then the queen comes there. This permits the opponent to win a rook through a fork. It does. Except that if I do that, this queen is going to come right down there, and then take this, and my knight's protected. But I guess I could have. Really, there's nothing. I could have moved my rook over. Let's see what I do. Oh, I castle. And the question is that, whoa, you ignored an opportunity to win a rook through a fork. Well, sure, but I also didn't want my rook to be taken. So maybe I missed it. But what they're talking about is that I should have gone here, which forked the king and the rook. And then he would have had to move out of check, and I could have very delightfully taken the rook. I love to do that. It's one of my favorite things. So let's see what I do next. So he goes there, which is questionable. And then I finally do that. How long was it? It waited a long time for me to make that move. And it's a great move, according to chess.com. And I agree. And I don't know what that plus 5.30 means up there. I'm sure I need to learn what that means. Plus 5.3. I don't know. I'll have to look that up and let you know in a different video. So then he moves his king. That's excellent. Nothing else I can do. So I get the free rook. It's great. But then I have the trouble of getting my knight out. How am I going to get my knight free from there? I don't know. So he puts his bishop there, which is a free bishop. Hopefully I'll just take it. I didn't. Because that bishop, it's protected by the queen. I probably didn't take it because I didn't want the queen to come up here and start playing around. If the queen is busy thinking about something here, I can go and have a heyday up here. So maybe I wanted to take this knight, and probably ease the way for my knight to be extracted. I don't know. That he moved that back. That's an inaccuracy. This loses a pawn. And I'm not sure what pawn moving that back lost. I'm not sure. So that's best. I took his knight, and then he takes here. So this is an undefended pawn, but my ability to take that pawn is extremely limited. I can't go, I can't go here, and I can't go here. This is the king. The king would take that, and of course this pawn would take it. If I moved there, the pawn would take it. So that's no good. All right. So the next one is activate my queen, moving it off the back square. So now I can go up and I can probably fork the king, and maybe have a lot of fun up here, if the queen doesn't come up here and start playing as well. I don't remember what I did on this game actually. Queen moves over there, which was a really bad move. It permits the opponent to win a queen through a fork. So, sure, I guess if I put something, if I could move my bishop there in a protected manner, yes. Well, no, because this is on that square and that is, so I'm not sure how to do the fork. Oh, wait. If I had my queen out of the way, forget all that. If I had my queen out of the way, no, that doesn't do it either. I don't know. There's probably a way. I just don't see what it is. That's a great move. So now I'm going to fork his, put him in check. I don't yet see how I'm going to get his queen. Maybe I do. Okay, so now that's an excellent move. Evades the check from the queen. So now I can go here and put him in check, and then go and take this pawn, which is what I might do. I don't remember. And that's exactly what I do. So I go up there and take his pawn, etc. So then he moves there. I can put him in check again. And maybe that's what I do. I don't recall exactly. Then I could advance this pawn and get another queen, which would be something that I would like. Sure, I put him back in check again, and he moves there. There should have been a way for me to put him in checkmate from this. I don't think I did, though. So I'll move there to put him in check again. So, you can think of this, my opponent possibly as having task saturation. He has his queen over here, he's doing analysis and checks, and he's so busy working through all of these issues here that he completely misses the fact that he needs to do something with his queen and his other pieces. These pieces aren't even in play. So I move there, and then I can have a discovered check, which I really love to do. And he goes here. That's a good move. But if I could put my knight here, if he had his queen there, then I could put him in check and threaten his queen at the same time. That didn't happen. So I can go here. I can't go there because his king can take it. So that's no good. So I could go here if I wanted to. Can't go there. So I really only have one decent move I can take as part of discovered check. And then my next move, I could come down here perhaps and make him move his queen, etc. Let's see what I did. So I did. That's exactly what I did. It came right down there. It revealed a check against the opponent's king, a discovered check. And then I could just go and take his bishop and probably his other bishop and start really having some fun up there. So he moves his king there, and so then I could come and take this pawn. I don't know if that's what I did or not. I didn't. I really should have come and taken that pawn. So he did that, and then I take his bishop. And then this other bishop, takes my knight. Well, actually, but then I could take his bishop, except I didn't do that. I started advancing my pawn up. I really should have taken his bishop. Let's get it out of the way. So he moves his king there. I could have also taken this pawn and then taken his rook. Well, I couldn't take the pawn there. And that would have been a task overload where I would have had mono-focus and lose, ability to think about things. So advancing this pawn isn't such a bad thing. And the longer I keep this pawn here, the longer I make it where this queen doesn't have access to this side of the board. So I'm continuing to go. This wins a rook, or a queen actually. So that's considered a good move. I put him in check again. And he goes there. Oh, and then I can go take the rook. I do take the rook. Isn't that nice? I guess when my queen was here, he was in check here. It's in check here, and check there. So it was really, it would have been checkmate. The only option he had was to move his knight. And so then I was able to go take the rook. And then he moved his queen back again. Oh, look at that. He moved his queen where I can take it. Hopefully I do take it. We'll see. I didn't. Yet I could have taken his queen. And he took my knight. I'm not sure why. Is that what he took? And he did. He took my knight. Which I don't understand. So then I take his queen. Maybe he wanted to resign and couldn't. I don't know. I just don't know. So he can't move his knight. And so he finally moves his bishop. Then I take his bishop. Continuing down the road to checkmate. It's coming slowly. But I kind of had a monofocus. I was focused on moving this pawn up, and I missed some great opportunities. One opportunity was to take his queen. Another one was to take his bishop, which I really never did. So those are errors on my part. So go finally, and he goes there. I probably don't care about that. And then I get a queen. And so then checkmate, of course, will follow soon after. And so there was a faster way to win. That's terrible. I don't know what it was. I guess if I would have just moved my queen here, it would have been checkmate because he wouldn't have had any place to go. I'm not sure. So now I go here, and he takes there, and I got to worry about these pawns coming and getting their own queen. I put him in check again. And he has just a bunch of ways to go because I didn't take it the way I should have. And so that's a good move. It puts him in checkmate. I had a way to get there faster. I could have taken this pawn, which would have put him in checkmate. That might have done it. Not sure. So then he goes there. And I'm worrying about stalemate. So I put him in check again. What a long, drawn-out chase I'm giving this poor king. He moves there. And then I finally take that pawn. And he's coming up. So now I can go over and start, getting in a little bit more serious checkmate. This move still leads to checkmate, but you had a way to get there faster. Yes, I see that. Because I had the monofocus problem going on, which is an issue. Probably a little task saturated, a little concerned because last night, last night I had some losses in chess.com. I've got to figure out a way to get those videos to you. I want to make those videos and comment on them. I'm not sure how to do it with my current tools, so I'm going to be working on that. And then I'll go ahead and go through that because that's what got me to thinking about my flight training and how that it applies to the chess training because I was distracted and I was overloaded with tasks and it led to bad decisions. And it's sort of like this. And finally, we have checkmate. It really took a long time to get there, but it was still an interesting game and I really, really, really loved it. And, the thing about comparing flight training with chess, I think is a great idea. I think it's something that there's a lot of parallels, I believe. So we'll be exploring some of those and making some comparisons. I'm just going to be thinking of flight training versus chess training and how that there's some synergies between the two and how they interact and how we can think about those. Because the whole objective is for us to become better chess players. And however we can become better chess players, we want to do that. And one of the things is just learning as much as we can, not getting overloaded or saturated, not letting our emotions cloud our thinking, not letting focus on one thing cause us to focus on the wrong thing, whatever. And so, I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I could not be doing this channel without your help. It's incredible that you're helping out by watching and enjoying, commenting, and forming a community. That's incredible. And so if you think I've earned it, please hit that like and subscribe buttons and share the info and comment. I'd love to hear your comments on whether you think that that these two things go together, and maybe you can give me even some more ideas about it. I don't know. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if you were able to do that. So either way, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll check you later.